Hello and good evening. I am Umudu Gajaga and this is QTV News coming to you live from our studios on Caraba Avenue. Thank you for joining us. And now here are the main local news headlines. As he commissioned a fleet of 33 new buses, President Adama Barrow on Tuesday commended the Q Group for its leadership and exemplary role in supporting national development efforts. As President Barrow gets ready to lay the foundation stone for a $100 million hotel complex, we looked at the project's significance to the Gambia's development. The National Center for Arts and Culture, NCAC, and partners began a 5-day capacity building training for government officials, technical stakeholders, and future Gambian trainers on safeguarding intangible cultural heritage. A 4-day induction training is underway for students of the University of the Gambia in preparation for a 6-month internship training at the National Assembly. Those were the main news headlines, and now the news in detail. Wherever you're watching us from around the world, thank you for joining us. This is QTV News. President Adama Barrow on Tuesday commended the Q Group for its leadership and exemplary role in supporting national development efforts. He was speaking at the official commissioning of the fleet of 33 new buses at the Makati Square in Banjul. More in this story.
His presence at this important event marking the official handing over of these buses signifies the importance government attaches to the transport sector. But most importantly, the impact the project is expected to have on the lives of ordinary Gambians. President Barrow commends the Q Group for its exemplary role towards the realization of such an important project, adding that his government remains committed to addressing challenges within the transport sector.
This development cannot come at a better time, considering the recent significant improvements on our road infrastructure network and the growing traffic congestion in the greater Banjul area. Despite the government's achievements in this sector, the need to complement road infrastructure development with proper road transport operations is obvious.
He also hopes this coming of these buses will reduce accidents on our roads, a problem he says has been a major concern for everyone, adding that his government is already working with partners and stakeholders in the sector to address it. For chairman of the Q Group, Mohamed Jah, this proud moment is a true reflection of the Q Group of company's main mantra, Sunyu Boss. And whilst thanking customers for patronizing the Q Group, he has also of his willingness to always partner with government in delivering projects that will positively impact the lives of ordinary Gambians.
I want to take this opportunity to thank all Q Group customers who have been patronizing us and believe in us. They believe in the Gambian companies. They believe in the Gambian dream. The fruits of supporting your own companies is what we are celebrating today, believing in the Sunyu Boss concept.
GTSC General Manager and Board Chairman Sidi Kanyi and Salum Malang, respectively, spoke on the importance of the project and the need for more public-private partnerships.
The Gambia is one of the most urbanized countries in West Africa, with over 60% of its population living in the Greater Banjul area. It is in response to this demographic reality that the government, in close collaboration with GTSC, deemed it necessary and timely to roll out this nationally important initiative to address the...
Currently, GTSC operates a minimum of 6 buses, from both North Bank and South Bank, Banjul Basse, and it's always full to capacity. That justifies the fact that the demand for buses is acute, because certainly we all want to minimize the accidents happening on our roads.
Following the official handing over, it was the president's turn to have a look at this new fleet of buses. Under the company of the Q Group chairman Mohamed Jah, GTSC officials and cabinet ministers, President Barrow bought one of these buses and was driven around Banjul before returning to Makati Square. A delighted Mohamed Jah speaking to QTV at the end of the ceremony, again re-emphasized the need for more public-private partnerships. The Q Group, he adds, is always prepared to support national endeavors for a better Gambia.
I called on the government to continue to partner with the private sector. And I can tell you, Nyasi, there are a lot of young Gambians who can do bigger than what Mohamed Jah is doing and the Q Group. But they need to be given opportunity, you know. So let the government open its doors. And that's why I call on the government to pass the local content bill so that Gambians will not be complaining that they don't have the advantage, that they are muscle out when it comes to bidding and competition. We should give our people priority. Every country does that. If you go to America, they say buy American. You go to France, buy France. Why don't we say buy Gambian? You know, but it's currently a lip service. A lot of us are just talking about it, but in terms of implementation, it's almost zero. So, and I believe President Barrow is going to take action. He has told me, I have been re-emphasizing, whilst we were in the boss, telling him that we need to not only give opportunity to the Q Group, but to all the Gambian companies who are ready to work, you know.
He also revealed that there are plans to expand this project to other parts of the country soon. Each of these 33 buses is fitted with security cameras and well-functioning air conditioning for the comfort and security of passengers and their luggage. The coming of these buses will likely be the start to a massive change within the transport sector, and with officials hinting at possibly operating these buses at a special price lower than the current tariff, commuters can finally have a sigh of relief as the Q Group and GTSC leadership begin the process to addressing challenges in the sector in a way never seen before. Ansmane Sonyase for QTV News.
Well, I can't wait long to get into these new buses. Well, the transport challenges we all know that we face on a daily basis. In another news, President Adama Barrow is set to lay the foundation stone for a multi-million-dollar five-star hotel project as part of key priority projects ahead of the Gambia's hosting of the OIC Summit. QTV's Mamadou Lamin Choi takes a closer look at this project and its significance through the Gambia's development.
A modern five-star hotel designed with magnificent facilities to give a fitting accommodation for guests in the much-anticipated OIC Summit. The foundation stone for the $100 million hotel will be laid on Saturday by President Adama Barrow with a 2-year completion target. Mfale Fadera, the OIC Gambia Secretariat's head of communications and brand, speaks to QTV about the hotel project.
This five-star hotel project is financed through an innovative financing solution, which is a public-private partnership between the government of the Gambia and this investor concern, which is called Imoland Sal. So because of after this concession agreement was signed, a new company was created called Imogam. Imogam is the company that will own the hotel, and Imogam is co-owned by the people of the Gambia and this investing company, which is Imoland Sal. So Gambia government's equity in this partnership is this 17-hectare land that we are providing in Bijilo, and Imoland is providing the $100 million that will be invested in the construction of the hotel.
When completed, the hotel will see a modern infrastructure and facilities with the capacity to provide luxurious accommodation for various levels of guests.
It is designed to be an upper-scale, high-end, luxurious accommodation facility. It will come with presidential and royal villas. In fact, it is coming. The hotel will have 400 rooms. Alongside that 400 rooms, we'll have 60 presidential and royal suites, and then on top of that we will have other modern facilities that come with hotels, like a spa. We'll have swimming pool areas. We will also have meeting and conferencing venues.
Beyond the OIC, the hotel is expected to diversify and give a booster to the Gambia's tourism industry by providing luxurious accommodation facilities, which are in high demand in the tourism market. In a separate but connected matter, during a tour of OIC projects, President Barrow had expressed disappointment over the slow progress of Lot 1 and 2 of the 50-kilometer urban road project construction.
There is a problem, but I have called on a meeting, an emergency meeting tomorrow at my office, 12:30, so that all the stakeholders will come together. We discuss about these roads, how can we move faster than the way we are doing now.
I asked about the outcome of that meeting, and here is what Mr. Fadera has to say.
On the outcome of the emergency meeting that the president called, he was quite emphatic in his message, and he was quite frank. He reminded all the stakeholders of their responsibility and the importance of the projects in question to the overall development of this country and its impact on the lives and livelihood of everybody. And the president was very clear that there is no room for complacency and people must deliver.
The Radisson Blue Banjul Hotel, among other OIC priority projects, when completed to the promised quality standards and properly managed, will be among the projects that will improve the infrastructural landscape and development of the Gambia and change the socio-economic lives of people. Mohamed Lamin Choi, QTV News.
The National Center for Arts and Culture, NCAC, in partnership with UNESCO Dakar office, began a 5-day capacity building training on Monday for government officials, technical stakeholders, and future Gambia trainers on the 2003 UN Convention for the Safeguarding of the Intangible Cultural Heritage, ICH. Loli M. Camara was there and she now reports.
The training is in support of a 2-year project which aims to strengthen national capacities for safeguarding and contributing to sustainable development in the Gambia. Officials say the project came following the conclusion of a national needs assessment carried out in 2015, which was in line with recent steps by the Gambia to safeguard its living heritage. The training courses will focus on the 2003 UNESCO Convention on Intangible Cultural Heritage and learning methodologies to create a participatory community-based inventory to safeguard ICH for government officials, technical stakeholders, and future Gambia trainers. The training will comprise 7 training courses and workshops in different regions of the country. Fafambai, board chairman of the National Center for Arts and Culture, on behalf of the Board of Directors, welcomed all participants to the 5-day capacity building training and reminded them that culture can be an engine for growth and development. Mamadi Damfa, representing the Minister of Tourism and Culture, said the National Center for Arts and Culture, under the guidance of his ministry, collaborated closely with UNESCO to implement this project, as they have fulfilled several milestones in the cultural sector since 2006.
In 2003, the Gambia ratified Convention for the Safeguarding of the Intangible Cultural Heritage. The country inscribed Kankuram Manding Initial Right on the representative list of the Intangible Cultural Heritage of Humanity as part of a multinational nomination with Senegal. The Gambia also participated in the Project Action Plan for the Safeguarding of the Kankuram Manding Initial Right funded by the Japan Funds and Trust and implemented between 2006 and 2009. Also, the utilization of audio-visual archives on folklore expressions and oral traditions that are archived in the Research and Documentation Division of NCAC at Fajar. Over the past years, the country has organized cultural activities promoting some expressions of living heritage, such as the Kankuram Festival, an annual festival organized at Makati, Janjambure, which we have organized since 2018.
In a virtual presentation, Abibata Tienta, the Chief of Teaching and Learning Sector, UNESCO Regional Office in Dakar, pointed out that the 2-year project being implemented today is part of the first systematic efforts to safeguard ICH in the Gambia, adding that the project has 2 main goals. Firstly, to reinforce the national capacity to better identify values and safeguard ICH. And secondly, to raise awareness and make Gambians proud of their cultural heritage. This project is funded by the France earmarked contribution to the UNESCO ICH Fund. At its conclusion, 2 main results are expected, namely, Gambian stakeholders will be actively engaged in the safeguarding of their ICH and have the technical skills to implement the 2003 conventions and transmit its basic principles throughout the Gambia. For QTV News, Loli M. Camara.
That report by Loli M. Camara takes us to a commercial break, and when we return, we'll still have some more local news stories for you. Do stay tuned.
QMoney is back again with its easy-to-use, secure and convenient mobile app that allows you to carry out all your transactions. No matter where you are or what time it is, you can always access your funds. With the new QMoney app, you can cash in and out, buy credit, buy QPower, shop, make payments, and so much more. You can also send QMoney, pay bills, receive international remittances, and transfer cash to others. Just download the app from your Play Store or App Store and get started. For more information, call customer care on 133. Q Money, Sinu Calpay. We innovate, others follow.
The Gambia OIC Secretariat, in collaboration with the Office of the President and Imogam Hotels and Resorts, wishes to invite the general public to the foundation stone laying of a 5-star Radisson Blu Hotel by the President of the Republic of the Gambia, His Excellency Adama Barrow, on Saturday, 23rd July 2022 at 4 p.m. The construction of a 5-star hotel is one of the key priority projects in preparation for the forthcoming OIC Heads of States and Government Summit. The hotel will have 400 rooms, including 60 presidential and royal suites. The 5-star hotel will ensure the guests receive a befitting accommodation experience. Additionally, it will diversify our tourism portfolio by providing luxurious accommodation facilities for high-end tourists. Let's come out and support this massive development.
What are the challenges of West Coast?
Everybody wants to live in West Coast. If you look at our seaside, you look at our sand mining, the environment. CD sells the land to me, and then CD and I will just go to the Alcalo, and the Alcalo will just take a form and stamp it without actually verifying the land. 2 months later, or even a year later, the same CD will bring somebody else to buy the same land. And there's even Alcalos in this country that don't even live in the country.
So maybe you're going to send them on retirement. When you talk about accidents,
we have all these vehicles on the road that at times you see on the road, you know they are not fit to be on that road.
West Coast is one of the areas that is very littered. We are not managing waste. How soon would you be keeping an eye on some of those projects?
Today is the first time I actually joined the president on a visit to an OIC site.
Nothing is actually being done. That's what I said.
State of affairs.
Welcome back, and thank you very much if you're just joining us. This is QTV News. We also welcome our listeners on Q Radio. A 4-day induction training is underway at a local hotel in Kololi for students of the University of the Gambia in preparation for a 6-month internship program at the National Assembly. Aliou Cisse has the details.
Last month, the National Assembly of the Gambia signed a memorandum of understanding with the University of the Gambia to begin an internship program for students of the university. The program will provide a unique opportunity to students from the country's highest learning institution to acquire direct practical experience of the work of the National Assembly relating to the constitutional mandate of lawmaking, oversight and representation. The internship program, supported by the UNDP and the UNFPA through the UTG, will help National Assembly members and other staff of the National Assembly benefit from technical and administrative assistance. At the start of the induction training on Tuesday, Khalifa Mmbai, Deputy Clerk, Legal and Procedural, National Assembly, says he is delighted with the new partnership, which is expected to help young people to acquire direct practical experience of the National Assembly's workings.
You will get to know how the National Assembly operates, its core function, mandate, their values, and of course how it conducts its business. So, yes, your internship is for a particular period of time, but at the end of the day, the knowledge that you gain from this training would go a long way in accompanying in your various career as you may venture into after UTG, because you will get to know, because as we always say at the National Assembly, Parliament is a unique institution in the sense that you may not have the knowledge, academic knowledge to teach you how Parliament works or how Parliament operates, but you must live in Parliament, you must be in Parliament to understand. As the Speaker always rightly says, come with your PhD, come with your double masters in Parliament, but you have to start scratch. You have to be a green leaf in the sense that Parliament operational mechanisms are not necessarily taught in schools or universities, but you must live to have the experience.
The signing of the MOU will give those students with outstanding academic and extracurricular achievements from UTG the opportunity to familiarize themselves with the working of the parliamentary democracy and democratic institutions in general. Fatou Gassama, Outreach Officer of the UTG's Career and Wellness Center, urged the interns to take the training seriously as they prepare for the tasks ahead.
Working in the parliament is not easy.
Like I said, the parliament is the most important place in any country because they make us or break us. They are the lawmakers. They make sure we abide by the laws, and they make sure they represent us well. The thing about being a UTG student, you don't just learn to just go and earn money. You learn to be ambassadors of growth and development. And that is why it's really important to mentally prepare you for what awaits you.
At the end of this 4-day training, these will-be interns will gain a sound understanding of the importance of the National Assembly in the country's democratic setup as an institution with a variety of functions to perform, such as lawmaking, securing financial accountability, ensuring executive accountability, constituent functions, a representation role, an educational role, and national integration, among others. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cissé.
25 political stakeholders from state and non-state institutions on Tuesday kick-started 3 days of multi-stakeholder consultation training on alternative dispute resolution ADR, organized by the West African Network for Peace Building WANEP, with support from the European Union through GAZE. Loli M. Camara has more.
The aim is to enhance the capacity of election stakeholders to develop sustainable dispute resolution structures to manage disputes and mitigate election disputes and violence. It also intends to create and expand existing infrastructure for effectively managing disputes surrounding elections and other democratic processes. At the event, Salaman Jain, National Network Coordinator WANEP the Gambia, in her welcoming statement said, due to the political tensions over the years, the country's political system has created a divide. Further stating that, though these tensions and conflicts are multifaceted in nature, they could be linked to weak political structures, politicized state institutions, and the absence of dialogue spaces and infrastructure for cultivating dialogue and national reconciliation.
Politically motivated violence has been a recurring feature of elections in the Gambia. Politicians, opinion leaders, and other interest groups on social media continue to use rhetoric and ethnic sentiments that deepen divisiveness and tensions in the country.
Dr. David Tommy, the board chairperson of National Election Response Group, stated that the reason for having this workshop is to ensure that no one is left behind in making sure that peaceful processes and democracy continue. Abdul Rahman Redway of the EU delegation to the country and Gabriele Bona, charge d'affaires of the German embassy head office in Banjul, highlighted their roles as partners in this process.
For the National Assembly elections of 2017 and for the presidential elections of last year, the European Union was invited by the government of the Gambia to send election observation missions. This included the deployment of observers throughout the country.
Together with our international partners and especially with the delegation of the European Union, we are committed to continue our support to the Gambian government in crucial areas.
Musa Amulnyasi, the Inter-Party Committee's chairperson, said, the training has come at a time the country is preparing for local government election scheduled for May 2023. He is hopeful that knowledge gain will be manifested during and after the elections.
I have no doubt that the knowledge gained during the 3 days training on this very important team will further consolidate the skills that have employed by the Inter-Party Committee to foster cooperation, understanding, and reconciliation.
Dudu Jah, Deputy Spokesperson and Director of Media for APRC, shared his expectations of this 3 days training.
People have different opinions, there are choices, and when we talk about elections, mostly the outcome, some will accept it, others might reject it. So dispute is inevitable as far as elections is concerned. So it will be very important as political parties will expect to learn what disputes are and how do we resolve them. And that is very key in moving forward as a nation.
It is hoped that the training will strengthen the knowledge and skills of these political actors in effectively handling and supporting the prevention of election-related conflicts in the Gambia. For QTV News, Loli M. Camara.
Well, from that story, we have a look at our top stories tonight. As he commissioned a fleet of 33 new buses, President Adama Barrow on Tuesday commended the Q Group for its leadership and exemplary role in supporting national development efforts. As President Barrow gets ready to lay the foundation stone for a $100 million hotel complex, we look at the project's significance to the Gambia's development. The National Center for Arts and Culture, NCAC, and partners began a 5-day capacity building training for government officials, technical stakeholders, and future Gambia trainers on safeguarding intangible cultural heritage. A 4-day induction training is underway for students of the University of the Gambia in preparation for a 6-month internship program at the National Assembly. But that's it for QTV News. Thank you very much for watching. Join us again at 10 for another bulletin.